Hey everyone, and welcome back to another news alert. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and thank you so much for tuning into Boyd News. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. And feel free to support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. Links are in the description below the video. All right, so I've got a very big story coming out from Russia that I'd like to share with you. We have news that a Russian Su-30 multi-role fighter jet has allegedly crashed in the Republic of Karelia inside of Russian territory. This is very close to the border of Finland, and I've got this news story for you here on your screen that says Russian Su-30 fighter jet crashes in Karelia Republic, crew killed. The Su-30 SM is a two-seat multi-role fighter jet of the Su-30 series based on the Su-27 family. Its main tasks are air superiority, striking ground and sea targets, and reconnaissance. Here's a photo of that Su-30 that apparently had crashed today in the Republic of Karelia. And isn't this the second time we reported over the last month, I want to say, that we had an Su-30 crashing? There was another report of one of these crashing off the coast of Crimea. I think it was in the waters very close to the city of Odessa inside of southern Ukraine. Allegedly, that could have been shot down is what we heard over the last month or so, but we were never able to completely confirm it. But that is for sure two of these Su-30 SM fighter jets that have crashed and been destroyed here over the last month or so. So very big news. We'll talk more about this. I'll give you guys more details on an article here in just a minute. We also have a couple other stories that we will discuss in this video as well. We have information that the U.S. has sanctioned two Ukrainian companies that helped Iran build Shahed drones. As the U.S. expands its list of sanctions targeting Russia, this may cut off certain supplies of Shahed drones to Russia. That's very big news. We'll discuss that story today as well. And we will also go more in depth with the story we briefly talked about this morning in our last update video for the Russia-Ukraine war, where Ukraine will begin deploying the first of its kind drone wall to help defend its skies against drones and guided aerial bombs. That was a very big story just breaking today as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the news. I've got several stories to unpack here for you. Let's jump on over to mainstream news article with United 24 Media. This is directly out of Ukraine, and it says Russian Su-30 fighter jet crashes near Finland border, both pilots killed. This coming out today on November 13th, 2025. You can see the date right here. Here's a picture of a Russian Su-30 SM fighter jet, and it says here performing during the MAX 2017 air show in Zhukovsky near Moscow. This was back in 2017 when that photo was taken. The information reads here, a Russian Su-30 series fighter jet crashed in the Republic of Karelia on November 13th, with both crew members confirmed dead. According to Russian Telegram channel Shot and 112, the aircraft went down in a forested area near Petrozavodsk, not far from the city's civilian airport. The incident involved a twin-seat combat aircraft operating over the Pryanzhsky district of Karelia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Shot reported that the pilots were unable to eject, and emergency services are currently working at the crash site. 112 added that the jet fell shortly after departure, though the exact cause has not been disclosed. Looks like there was some sort of issue with this plane if it crashed soon after departure. It says here, Shot also suggested that the aircraft may have been an Su-27 rather than an Su-30, noting that the model is still being verified. Russian authorities have not issued an official statement. Yeah, so from what I understand, there's two different types of aircraft that are stationed at this airfield. It's going to be in the city of Bezovets, up in the Karelia Republic. So Su-27s and Su-30s are both stationed there. So that's why, still waiting for more details. It's most likely an Su-30, but some people are saying it could also be an Su-27. They do look kind of similar in some ways. And it says here the crash occurred near the Bezovets airfield, home to Russia's 159th Guards Fighter Aviation Regiment. The unit is part of the 105th Mixed Aviation Division of the Western Military District and operates both Su-27 and Su-30 SM aircraft. The channels reporting the incident stated that the wreckage was found in a wooded area with no indications of damage to civilian infrastructure. Okay, so yeah, apparently they crashed in a forest just outside the city of Petrozavodsk. I will pull that up on a map for you guys in just a moment. But there is more information on this article if you want to read some more of it or check it out yourself. I will cite it down below in the description of this video for you, as I always do. So let's go ahead and hop on over to a map now. We're going to jump on over to Google Maps. Here we go, and I'll show you exactly where this took place at. So we've got Ukraine down here. Here's Russian territory. Here's the Moscow region, and just north of that, up here in the Republic of Karelia, which is going to be this giant region right here, right on the border with Finland. We'll zoom into the southern side of the Republic of Karelia. And over here we have the Petrozavodsk International Airport, right next to the city of Petrozavodsk, excuse me. And just to the north of that, in the smaller town of Besovets, here is the airport. Okay, so I believe this is a dual purpose airport. It's an international airport, and I think civilian flights come in here. And also, Russia houses lots of their SU-30s and SU-27s. Here's some of them right here. There's two parts right there. And then over here on this side, there's a bunch of them. There's 2, 3 here, right here in this area. Then we've got probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them just sitting on the tarmac over here on this side of the airfield. So pretty large airfield. I think down here also there's some helicopters here that are stationed. Looks like some transport aircraft right there as well. So pretty large airport where this thing took off from. So I'm assuming it probably took off here and started heading south over here to this woodland area, because just off to the west side of the city of Petrozavodsk is allegedly where it crashed. They said a woodland area, so probably somewhere here or maybe a little bit southwest down here in this area is where it crashed at. And again, this was a training mission. Something went wrong shortly after takeoff, and eventually they crashed over here, and the crew did not survive, is what we're hearing about. So now we're to jump on over to X. I've got a couple other stories I want to share with you also. We'll start off here with next. U.S. sanctions Ukrainian front companies that helped Iran build Shahed drones. The U.S. Treasury has expanded sanctions against a network supplying components to Iran's state-owned drone and missile maker HESA, or HESA, subsidiary of the Iranian Defense Ministry. 2 Ukrainian firms, Imperative Ukraina and Ecofera, if I'm saying those right, were blacklisted. According to Washington, Iranian procurement manager Bahram Tabibi created these shell companies to purchase generators, sensors, engines, and navigation systems for drone production. Payments from HESA to Ukraine were reportedly facilitated by another Iranian national, Batul Shafi, if I'm saying that correctly. HESA manufactures Shahed 131 and Shahed 136 attack drones, which Russia actively uses in its war against Ukraine. So this was very good news to hear about today. This is just breaking yesterday afternoon, actually. You can see here on Reuters, U.S. Treasury issues Iran-related missile and drone sanctions. So yeah, the U.S. Treasury actually slapped Iran with a lot of different sanctions just yesterday. I think more than 32 firms and people directly being targeted in these sanctions, and this happened to be one of them. 2 Ukrainian firms, Imperative Ukraina and Ecofera, were blacklisted and included in these sanctions. That was allegedly helping out the Iranians over here to produce these Shahed drones that eventually go to Russia and are eventually flown inside of Ukraine. Okay, we know that Shahed drones are still being purchased from Iran. Iran has been supplying weaponry over to the Russians pretty much throughout the entire duration of this war. Excuse me. So pretty crazy news, and it looks like the U.S. is still expanding their sanctions onto Russia in any way possible, as we just had a report earlier today that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was allegedly stating there's not much more they can do to sanction Russia. All they can do is kind of expand on the sanctions they're putting out right now, which was recently onto Lukoil and Rosneft, 2 major oil companies inside Russia. So very good to see. Hopefully that'll slow down the Iranians from sending these drones and equipment over to the Russians to use on Ukraine. Now, finally, one last update from Nexta. Ukraine is deploying the first of its kind drone wall, a revolutionary defense against glide bombs and UAVs. Ukraine is preparing to roll out an entirely new type of air defense system, a drone wall developed by a trade. I believe they are out of France. Business Insider reports it's not a traditional air defense complex, but an aerial minefield made of dozens of small battery-powered drones equipped with low-yield charges, capable of intercepting UAVs and guided glide bombs, without GPS. The DWS-1 system launches interceptor drones after radar detects a threat, forming a dense airborne curtain at altitudes of several thousand meters. The drones use a friend or foe identification system, approach incoming munitions, and detonate nearby, knocking them off course. Those that don't explode return to their launch pads for reuse. Artificial intelligence continuously reshapes the wall's configuration in real time to match the trajectory of each threat. Tests have already been successful. Ukraine will now become the first country to use this technology in real combat conditions. So isn't that crazy? here's kind of a picture with an idea of how this will work. So all these drones will be just sitting out in the open in groups, and apparently one operator can control up to 100 of these interceptor drones or FPV drones. And whenever there's an aerial threat nearby inside of Ukraine, these things will launch off the ground into the skies and form a drone wall, and hopefully will crash into the object, whether it's a drone or guided aerial bomb, because we have been hearing that apparently some of these interceptor drones that Ukraine is using now do have capabilities to take down guided aerial bombs or glide bombs coming from Russian fighter jets, right? So this is great to hear that Ukraine is now deploying these. This is the same type of system, very similar that the EU is thinking about creating, and also Poland's working on their own drone wall right now as well. So very good news to see this. Just wanted to share this photo with you so you can kind of see an idea visually of how these will be functioning as these will deploy into the skies and take down drones and also guided aerial bombs coming from the Russian side. So crazy news, guys. Just want to give you a few updates here coming out from Russia and Ukraine today in this video, and I want to let you know about this SU-30 fighter jet that allegedly crashed. And I think these things are worth somewhere anywhere from like 12 to 50 million. Whether this is a fighter jet that's actually exported out of Russia or actually sold directly to the military. So definitely tens of millions of losses, again, just on the Russian side with this Su-30 crashing today. So guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this update. Let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.